Hi, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon and good evening, wherever you're watching us from. So it could be wherever at the time or when you saw this video you want to watch us from. I greet you by the time. How you doing? How is the week? How was the Monday to Saturday to today? And also whatever time you are watching us. How are you doing? Last week you didn't see us. I went to party. I know you could have seen a lot of pictures of mine online where I went to party. That was why you didn't see us last Saturday. It was Igbo Descendants Association Convention. So not all the Igbo indigenes all over the US and Canada came together to celebrate themselves. So that was why we're not here. And my husband is from Igbo, as you all know. And also, we are the hosting family. So, Adela was busy. So, I apologize that I didn't see us last Saturday. So, today we have brought another interesting. You know, you trust me now. I always come with very exciting topic. Like, topic that will keep you glued to your chair. And we all know that this season is a holiday season, both in the US and also in Nigeria. All our kids are home with us now. A lot of parents are like, hey, this is another long holiday. How am I going to cope with these kids? You need to go to work. And you are thinking, how are you going to handle your kids? You don't want to get them engaged and you don't know how to go about it. Just stay with us here. Stay. Don't go anywhere. If you share with your friends that you know that they may be going through the same thing, tell them about us. Let them know that this is where you get to know the information you need for engaging kids in during this holiday. A lot of parents are worried. A lot of parents are thinking, how am I going to yell over the kids? And I tell you, no, you don't have to yell. We are here for you. You don't have to yell anymore. Yeah, we are past that era. It went with COVID, okay? So no parent is yelling anymore. So we need to talk about how to engage our kids during this holiday. What are those things you need to do? How to go about it? How to avoid yelling? How to tame them? How to, teach them those extracurricular activities that they know. Take at school. You want to talk about, should the holiday itself be for another training or another book studying? A lot of people, because to avoid, the stress the kids come along with, they throw them in another summer class. They call it a holiday coaching and making the kids go around the year circle by circle, reading and studying without any break, without any holiday. They were given holiday for a reason. Those people who sat down, the educationists, those people who knows about kids and who knows about schooling, knows that there's a time this kid need to take a break, because if they don't take a break, it may break them. So they gave us holiday for a purpose. They did not say, if they had wanted the kids to school all the year, they would have made that circle, that schooling also like all through the year. But they gave them a break so that they can do other things aside paper and book thing. So, but before I go too far in this conversation, now, should kids during holidays still go to summer school, summer coaching, or it should be a traditional, they should leave it for a traditional play, like let the kids play. Let them play as much as they can. Let them explore what they could think by themselves and they could play with, instead of every time book. So these are many more we're discussing. I know a lot of parents believe that these kids, when they start out of school, they'll forget what they were taught. Oh my goodness. And also when they're at home and they still need to read so that they don't forget. And some parents are of the opinion that no, holidays and holiday, let kids do other things apart from schooling, apart from paperwork, school book. So what's your opinion on that? And so I'm going to leave that as a poll, like, should holiday be things to do with our work? So I would like to hear your comments on that view. Should holiday be truly holiday for kids whereby they can, explore traditional play, or it's also an avenue for them to still continue to learn so they don't forget what they learn in school, also to prepare them ahead of their next class? What do you think? What's your opinion? Or probably should be divided into two, some part for training or for them to explore, to play, and some part of them to remind them of things they will need to go through in school. So what is your opinion before I share my personal view on it? So today we'll be talking about other creative ways to engage your kids. What are, other parents or people who in one way or the other have met kids will be telling us ways to go around it and what is other things you need to engage your kids with. And trust me, we will not make it look too Western. We understand the Nigerian perspective on this conversation, and we will also dive into it. So we will not just say things that are not practicable. So we'll be able to look at how do we engage our kids during this holiday. I know the holiday just started. We still have a month to go in Nigeria, and probably here they have already started. Some are planning to resume, and some will resume in September. So some will resume in this month of August. But while we do that, how do we engage them in this holiday? So let me try to see if we have some other co-hosts around or other viewers who could be part of this conversation. So I won't be doing it talking alone, no? And for those of you who have not joined us on other social media platforms, we are on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube. Just search Connect and Reflect. Boom, we are right in your face. So don't forget to share with others, your friends. We are on all social media platforms that you know. We are on Facebook here. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram, and probably we are also on YouTube. So you can always follow us on all the social media and the same concept. So you can watch the full videos on YouTube. You can watch the full video on Facebook. But on TikTok and Instagram, it's just some of the clips of the video that we just watched. So if you want to watch the full ones, you either go on a YouTube channel, or you come here on Facebook to watch us the full video. But on TikTok, it's just the snippet part of it, some few part of it, and also on Instagram, we just do some catchy part of it that we'll put on there. So what do you think? Should holiday be truly holiday for kids? Hey, maybe some of my friends thought since we did not come last week, we have closed. No. We are here. So, as I was saying, and a lot of time, because parents are busy, we understand our busy schedule, we just leave our kids to watch the screen, to give them some laptop, iPad, tablet, or phone, to just watch social media, just to watch YouTube and watch videos online, just to let us have that time to ourselves. And we don't really have enough time to sit them down to give them routine on what to do and how to do it. Today, we got you covered on that how to reduce the screen time, or how to, create a routine for screen time, and also for the additional play, that the kids be able to think of what to do outside box aside. Screen does not really give them room to think. They only watch. And at which rate at which those videos move so fast that kids cannot really process what they are really watching. So with that, we have to reduce what our kids watch. Like, we need to know that, curtail how to manage the screen time and the traditional, holiday. So what are the most creative way to engage kids during holiday? What is the holidays activities that we have for the kids, both in Nigeria? We have a lot of recreation centers. We have a lot of parks that we can take our kids to, and we can create one at home by ourselves. So many creative ways we can make the kids enjoy their holiday at home without even breaking the bank. And also we can have a lot of activities for them during this holiday. You can register them for different activities. It could be swimming, It could be gymnastic, football, any sport of your kind that you want. You can register the kids. And for the girl child, you can register them for cooking skill for their age, that's age appropriate. You can register them for any skill that you know that will be of benefit. We have all of this available back home in this holiday. That it doesn't have necessarily to be that they need to be seated and study English and mathematics. Go with, okay, don't let me say go with those things. Like, you need to be able to balance both the holiday and also the other activities you need them to do. And also we'll be talking about the biggest challenges most parents face in order to engage the kids during holiday. We'll get you. So these and many more we'll be discussing. Oh, super, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. Would you like me to bring you up? I saw Erife briefly. I saw Lalua Fatumbitu briefly. So, what are the activities that we need to do? How do we ensure the kids don't get bored this holiday? You know, this and many more will be discussed with our other co-hosts. So let's see if we have them here. You're welcome. You're welcome. So let me just... Oh, he left again. Okay, so I saw one of the hosts, so he's going to come back again. So, Bertrand, saw you. So, we'll be talking about creative way to engage kids to make sure that our kids are getting all the, the fun and the education needed during holiday. There's more to, we're given on holiday for a reason. It's called an holiday for a reason. So, I'm going to ask you this question, Super. How do you think kids go and have holiday? Should it be to enjoy the holiday? Should it be they should register them for summer coaching so they don't forget what they were taught, and also to prepare them ahead of their new class that they are going during holiday? Or you think it's an holiday, the kids' head should rest? So if you were in this show, how will you manage it? Like, you can just type it. Like, do they need to rest from going to school or studying math and English, or their subjects, or they should do something outside the box, maybe register them for other things that interest them, all those small talents that we could see in the kids, who can help them grow their talents. Maybe you so observe that your child likes dancing, you can register him or her for dancing classes. Your child loves to swim, you want to register the child for swimming. Your child likes to run around, you can register the child for, running. So many. If your child likes soccer, you can register them so that they can be professional and be good at it. This is the time for such activities. Holiday is the time for such activities, because they go to school all the time, and they may not have that luxury of time to also get other activities done. So holiday is a time that you pick an activities for them, they explore, they enjoy before the school resumes. And that does not mean that they will forget what they were taught. Immediately they get back to school, they'll be taught again and they will grab it again. So, and you can do minimal schooling, homeschooling for them at home, or probably small lessons for them. But dumping a child in a school again during holiday, making a child go for another 4 hours class during holiday, is too much, personally, if you ask me. But I stand to be corrected though. I let my kids went to holiday. I let my kids explore. I let them think outside the box. They have toys to think with, to play with. I let them think of what else they can do by themselves. And you see them playing, drawing. Then you see the artistic skill your child will have. You could see that they can draw, they can paint, they can build. Let them play outside with the sand and see the creativity that will come out of what they are doing. Exactly. Thank you, Super. Said holiday is holiday. Should be a time for them to relax their brain, which will help them, which in turn help the neurons to be very active when they resume school. Exactly, that was what I feel too. That holiday should be an holiday. It's called an holiday for a reason. So let the kids explore and enjoy what it is. That's personally what I feel. But when it's maybe a few weeks to their resumption, we can just flip around to look at few things in the book, in their book. But that does not mean that the whole holiday I'll make them register for another summer school, unless that child has some, deficiency that want the child to catch up with. But if such is not the story, your child is smart, it's okay. Let the child be child. Like let them play. Let them play. Yes. Thank you, super. Hi, Brotherly. Can you hear me?
Káàárọ̀ lóòtọ́.
Ẹ káàárọ̀, àlàáfíà ni o.
A dúpẹ́ o.
She will join us.
Sister Táyọ̀ dà.
Oh, she's coming.
Sister Táyọ̀ la fẹ́ rí o.
She's coming, but she told me she may be running a bit late, but she will be here. So where is Ajashegun? I saw Ajashegun briefly too.
Ilẹ̀ sọ.
I said I saw Ajashegun briefly too. So before our education is come to wrap up, everything we will have said before she comes. So let's continue.
Okay.
So if how's the week? Let me start with that. How's your week?
We thank God.
It wasn't too bad, not too hectic.
Nah, not too hectic.
Okay, good to hear that.
It's pretty
So
chill. Said it was chill, but again, weekends are better. So
yeah. So I started the week tired because of the party we had on Friday, on Saturday, last Saturday, and Sunday. We still have our guests till around Monday before they all left. So to start cleaning, making sure that the house returned to normal, it took me a while. So now I feel better now. Àwa nìyẹn o. Ǹjẹ́ my join wow. So let's get going. Yes. So what do you think is the most creative way to engage kids, like during holiday? So when we're talking about kids, it's not ordinary toddlers. So it's gonna range between the school age, which is let's say 3 to 13, or thereabouts. 3 to 12, 3 to 13, thereabouts. So how do we engage these kids during their holiday?
Well, that was the major reason why I said that Sister Tayoda, because it is one thing to have theoretical knowledge of something. It is another thing to have a practical knowledge of it. I feel like, I mean, I have a 3-year-old, but I'm not really, I don't know much about that aspect. But if you ask me, I would say, since you broke it down into age range, right? I'd say for the younger ones, they're still kind of like in the formative years where, for lack of better word, I would say nothing really makes sense to them, right? It's more about enjoying themselves, playing around. So I would say there will be different measures for those in that age bracket. Whereas for um, older ones tending towards 13, 14, and all that, it's a different thing, right? But if I have to talk about myself and how I'd want to raise my child, I'd say that holidays are an opportunity for the kids to try something new, something different from the process of, oh, let's go to school, let's get homework, and the likes. I would say that holidays is an opportunity for you to control what they do, because now they tend to spend the 24 hours of the day with you. They don't come back. It's not like they're coming back from school tired and then you want to keep them in the house and all of that. So I'll say for the younger ones, I mean, to kind of like change from the norm of what we see around now, where kids just stay in front of computer or the
Mm.
iPad and all of that. I think it's an opportunity to spend time with them, go outside. I mean, we grew up being outside, but of course the times have changed. They can't do all of that, but we can still find a way to get them to go out. Um, and then even if they're going to be in the house, I would say that to engage them in doing projects, like there are some kids project that is kind of like when they do it, they've developed their brain. It's not that they're just watching; they are spending time in front of the screen. So, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, that would be one of the things that I would try to introduce, right? Whether it's in games, or this project, or this crossword puzzles that kind of get them engaged. You want them to be engaged in doing things that would take their time without them necessarily bothering you, but at the same time you want to control what they consume. If I want my kids to consume anything, at least I will know that it's something that is building his brain, not the zombie type things that they watch that kind of like controls their brain and activity that they watch on YouTube and all of that. So that's what I would say for the younger ones. For the older ones, I would say that it's an opportunity for them to pick interest in some activities that may eventually be something that they grow up to be. Maybe things in sports, or like maybe a little bit older than 14, maybe try something in a vocational area, like um uh look for
Baking,
yes,
hairdressing,
something like that. Baking,
cooking,
hairdressing,
home
cooking.
management.
Exactly. Thank you very much for helping me out here. I was kind of like stuttering a little bit, but that's kind of like what I would ideally want. But again, it's easier said than done. I've never had to deal with uh kids in this area, so because I know that some parents will have excuse that, oh, it's because you've not dealt with these kids. That's why you're able to talk freely, but it still won't stop me from saying that ideal situation, if I have the strength, if the universe align, that is what I'll think of to do to engage them when they are not doing schoolwork.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Though I'm also in your shoes, my kids are still little, but I have friends who have older kids, and and I'm also privileged to be, school children teacher in church. So I've seen older kids, I've seen younger kids, and I know how they operate. So with that will give me a private, understanding on how to manage kids of this age, of that age range between 3 to 5, 3 to 13. So
Yes.
because of their age differences, at tender age, you understand what your children, what they like to do. You've offered them different toys. I know what my older kids like. My older kids like to sit down in the spot and do something by himself without interruption.
Mhm.
Probably mold something, use the play-doh, to mold something, or do what's called Lego, arrange Legos on, tiles. He will tell you he has built mountain, he has built so many things. So that's what he loves to do. He doesn't like to run around. My second kids can run from here to anywhere playing, so he can't sit still to play. So I understand their differences, and I know what to activities that will involve them during holiday. Number one, I'll try to tame the one that runs around to sit down. Like, and the activities that will make him sit down at least for a bit, so he doesn't run around all his life running around. You get what I mean? So just to tame in that to sit down. So because running come easily for him, and I want him to also learn to sit down and just be still and understand how to manage time, even if for 30 minutes or an hour to sit down. And the one that likes to sit, I also want to involve him in an activities that will make him also run a bit or play around and not just glue to yourself on the spot. So looking at that, and also the one that comes easily for them, I understand. So what I'm trying to say all of this is because saying that people of 3, 4, 5, they have little things. I'm like, no, I disagree on that. Like, depends on how you understand and study these kids. They have their area of interest, unless you just don't want to see it. So that area of interest is what you build on. On that deficiency is also what you try to help them to explore, so they don't just stay in their comfort zone all the time. So with that, there are so many creative ways also to engage the kids, apart from taking them to summer school, because that's the easiest way to run away from responsibilities or to be responsible for those kids. You just dump them on someone else so that you can be free. And that is why where a lot of parents are. They're not really interested in what the child is really learning at that period, but because somebody else is going to be with them aside them, that's why they always want them to be in the summer school or holiday school during that holiday time. We all
Gotcha.
understand that. You get what I mean? We all
Mm-hmm.
understand that all of us are busy. The same techniques that you use while they were going to school, if they will be home after they won't go to school all the months. So just create 1 or 2 times, probably when you retire from work. Just walking your neighborhood with your child is enough. That won't cost you anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just hold the child, whatever the age, walk your neighborhood together with that child, and make sure that's the only time you connect with that child. That's another creative way to engage them that will cost us no money. Toys are also, if you can afford one, people can buy toys and let the child play with toys at home, aside school. And if you have a place where they can run around play with sand, that is what we pay money for here in America. You will see kids playing with sand in their own school. And you wonder, like, is this what I've said that several times when I go to my kids' school? Like, when we were growing up, we had it a lot and we were playing with it. So now, since I know that it's also part of learning for them, there's a place in my backyard that my kids go to play. It's with sand. Whatever you want to build, whatever you want to do with it. So making the kids run around in your compound is also a creative way. I just understand what they want and make it stick for them. Probably get somebody to watch them while they play. These are the things I believe are another way to engage the kids, apart from staying indoor or looking for, I need to take them to recreation center. It will cost me a lot of money. And that's major excuse for parents in Nigeria. Because taking the kids for recreation centers is not free in Nigeria. None of the park is free. So, and a lot of parents are avoiding that. Why would I pay 500 for 1,000 or 1,000 for a child to enjoy play? You can create play at home. Growing up also during that time too, we just stay outside like a free bird, and that time has changed now. Parents don't leave their children to play outside like a free bird that we did in the security environment. The exposure now has
Mm-hmm.
changed, and a lot of parents don't know how to manage their kids within their house. And that's where I said we could also make the kids, have fun by taking them around or create a less expensive activities for them at home. So now my next question is, how do we balance screen time? Because now that's another thing. So parents, is that they take them to holiday school, or they just give them a laptop or whatever, or tab, and let the kids watch by themselves without disturbing them? That's also another is parenting style. So how do we balance the screen time and the distraction play holiday to keep your children engaged, entertained?
So, so yeah, thank you. So, what I'm gonna say, I'm gonna probably sound like an hypocrite with what I'm saying. But again, is what I feel. And the reason why I said I'm gonna sound like an hypocrite is because because of what I said earlier, right? But to me, I feel like the more screen time your kids have is a tell on you as the parent, because the question is, how does this start? I think kids start having access to screen from when they are young, very young, like at the baby stage. Oh, let's keep him engaged and all of that, right? But then parents kind of like use it as a form of escape, in that, oh, let me, as long as this boy or girl is in front of the screen, it's not going to disturb me, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It's not because parents really um see the kid as, I mean, again, I'm choosing my word carefully, uh see the kids as learning anything with the screen time. To me, the major benefit to the parent is, when my kid is in front of the screen, I have the time to do something else, right? So I'm not against kids having screen time. However, like you said, balance. And the way I want to kind of like answer that is, parents also have to carve out time for the kids to do things with them. And it goes back to the first question that you asked about, creatively engaging the kids, right? For the younger kids to be engaged, you as the parent has to be involved, because at that time they want to do things with you. It is rare for a 3-year old to just say, I want to do it by myself, right? At that point, they want to, their interests are the things that interest you as a parent. So if you carve out time at that point to do, like for instance, me now, one thing that I love to do very well when I'm not working and I'm not sleeping and I'm not watching movie is to build like this. I don't know if you've come across this thing, like miniature,
Yeah, Lego.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
not really Lego. Well, again, we can talk because I'm not saying, because Legos are for kids, right? But the ones that I build, they are like life size product, but they've cut it to smaller piece, and then they kind of like use wood as the
Okay.
pieces. So that's what I build. I have it in my house. I buy it like because it's quite expensive, so I don't splurge on it. So I buy it every other month, and then I use it as my project, right? So I know that when the time comes, I'll be doing it. Of course, my kids will see me doing. So that's how I believe they pick interest,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's more about you as a parent carving out time and having interest in something that you know that you want to kind of like nudge your kids to be interested in. Maybe it's in playing Monopoly, or in doing some things. And there are ways you can do house chores and you make it fun for the kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a case of, oh, you're doing house chores and you're saying, Junior, go and be watching TV while you are doing the house chores. And also is teaching these kids leadership as well, right? So that's what I see to it. And the short answer to that is, balancing screen time is, first of all, about the parents not using it as a way of getting the kids to stay out of their way. Because at the end of the day, even when kids go watch this screen that they are watching, when they need you, they'll come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
You can't escape kids. So why
Yes.
not just face it and do something that helps the kids in the process? Because you can, again, what they watch in the screen, you are not there most of the time. You don't know what message is being passed to them. But again, I'm not saying giving them screen is bad, though. No, if you want to give them screen, of course there are some programs on the screen that you can ensure that it's the right programming for them. But at the same time, at that time of their life, what helps them is when they are doing things with you, because let's face it, time flies, right? And then sometimes you be like, where did the years go? Why is this kid grown now? And then when they grow to a certain level and they don't want to do things with you, you start wondering, why don't they want to do things with me? Well, that's because the time for them to do things with you that will be in their memory, and then eventually they look into that and, oh, I missed this. You're not doing it with them.
Mm, thank you. Also talking about how to balance screen time and charging and play. What I do so that there won't be struggle with it is I create time. They have an alarm or Alexa, or they know the time. When it's so time to so time, that's time you can watch your screen. And their screen is parents guided. That how do they put it? So I know what they're watching, and it's most educational content. They know it. It's that you're watching out to add your maths, fun play to add your maths, fun play to speak, a family drama, those things that's kid
Mm-hmm.
related. So they have their phone time, their screen time, and it is limited. And they have the play time too, that's also limited. So they have a routine, they know the time. My kids will tell you, Mommy, it is 2 o'clock. They know what to do at 2 o'clock. They'll tell you it is 12 o'clock. They know what they are doing next in 12 o'clock. They know 12 o'clock is their study time. We're going to do some mathematics, do some painting, do some crafts within that time. And when it's 2 o'clock, they know that it is this screen time. And when it's time that the screen should turn off, they know it. It is one that will be telling the other one, if the time has passed. Even whatever you're watching, you need to turn off the TV and go and do something else. So we have a routine for that. So parents can also adopt, creating routine for their children so they know what time they're doing what. And with that, there won't be any power struggle. That when they want to play with you, is the time you want to. So you know that the time they're watching screen, you can quickly do whatever you need to do by yourself. So when they're off the screen time, you know that you have to be with them to be with, to play and talk to them. Oh, look at Tayo is here.
Ah, well, well. I mean, the thing about kids is, is they are
What is it?
built. I said the thing with kids is they are built to challenge authority, right? So even if and that's why the first kids learn to say no, right? So if you're not, if, and I'm using that to buttress what you said about your kids knowing the time and all of that, it's because you laid ground about what you do, right? So if parents are not standing their ground about, oh, the time for this, the time for this, the time for this, it won't work. Kids will
Mm-hmm.
continue to do, but unfortunately, like I said earlier, some kids and some parents also enjoy it because, quote and unquote, gives them that freedom to do other things. But whereas, what is more important, the other things that time that you want to instill that knowledge of responsibility and time, on your kids.
Okay. I don't know. Network dropped Tayo again. So let me
Ah,
see if
yo, which kind of I think any network ni.
I know, right? When she told me she was going to be late, I said, you can't do this to us. This is your topic. I said, this is your topic. You can't do this to us. So, okay, she will join us. So let's just continue. When she comes back, and then we can also rephrase all the questions we've asked earlier. So, I think we mentioned this, that already is the time to explore the kids for extracurricular activities. And do you think it's the time to, how do I put it, make them taste a lot of curriculum and pick their interests, or you
Oh yeah,
force your own on? Don't let me use the word force.
yeah.
You
No,
you
I
co-
love that. I love that. That's a very good question, honestly.
you coerce them to do what interests you as a parent.
So
You make them
here's how, and I think
okay.
I touched on it earlier, that it's it's not really about what, it's a nudge, and some of the nudge may not be deliberate. So let me explain. I said this. My my hobby. I built. It's not like it's bringing any value to me. Oh. I just love it. Maybe the kid in me is still holding on to that aspect of my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just love it. But the reason why I'm saying that is kids will pick interest in what they see around them, right? So let's say a Saturday comes, I bring out these tools that I want to build. What do you think would happen? My son will come and want to disturb me about it, right? And then he sees me doing it every weekend or every day. And definitely that is creating something in him to want to do that thing as well. I didn't say go and pack it, bring it up, let's do this, right? No, but gradually it was. Now to your question, it's not about forcing them, but I know what I'm going to do. It's not like I'm expecting my son to do one thing. Or he's still at liberty to pick one thing. But here's what my son will find in my house: all of those things that I built, musical instruments that I play, that I used to play that I don't play anymore. I have a keyboard, I have a saxophone, I have a guitar, right? That I used to play. I'm thinking of buying drum sets. Although if my kids should pick that one up, we won't be able to sleep in the house, right? I have a huge backyard. My project is to buy soccer, all these gold nets and all of that, right? But I'm not now going to say, oh, Ayo, go and play ball or go and do this, go and do this, go and pick up this keyboard and no, no, no. But it's about creating variety for them to now pick. If now my son now like, oh, you know what? I want to be building things and breaking it down because I've seen my dad do it, right? Or if my son says, oh, I love this instrument, let me explore, right? When the time comes, right? That's good. And then if I see that he's picking interest in that, and then that is where the nudge now comes in. Of course, if he's doing it on his own, he might not get good at it. But immediately I see that, oh, my son is picking the flutes or the saxophone, and he's kind of like trying to. I'm like, he's curious about what it is. Then the next thing is for me to enroll him with a teacher to teach him, right? If I see that he's going to the backyard and he's kicking ball, kicking it into the net, the next thing is to find the soccer academy and put him there. As many as his interest in, and as he grows, he's going to start losing interest in some of them and picking interest in others. The point that I'm making is, at the young age, kids pick interest fast and lose interest fast. Of course, again, this is me speaking theoretically on things that I've seen. I've not experienced it myself personally. I don't have a kid that I pick interest and lost interest yet. But that is what I believe. It's not about, oh, you must do this, coercing them or forcing them to do it. No, but it's about creating the enabling environment for them to pick interest in varieties of things that are available to them.
Okay. So I've seen a lot of parents whereby so many things they wish they had, so many opportunities they wish they had, they didn't enjoy it. And they want their kids to live that life for them. Because growing up our parents didn't allow us to play soccer around because they always want us to go read. And you want your own child to play soccer, even when the child is not really showing interest in that soccer. But because you didn't enjoy it and believe that, we all know there's money in soccer. I said, you must play soccer. Say, this leg is for soccer. So, whereas you don't go to soccer field every day. Not that you go to soccer field every day as a parent, or you didn't build your own interest because your parent didn't let it happen, and you want to enforce it on your own child, and
Mhm.
make the child you must play soccer kind of view. So how do you manage such a situation? And might not be soccer, it could be other, field. But because you failed in that aspect and you want your child to live in it. But Tayo, before we go into that question, Tayo, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm
Good to
glad
have you. You need to see how God today like, why is that Tayo? Why is that Tayo?
Jerry, Temichi Edupe, I was checking Sister Tayo's comment and it was kind of like, but like, it's close to what I said. So, me, the professional is here.
So you're welcome. So we're gonna
Thank you
run
so much.
through all the questions and hear your opinion on it. So I'm gonna be binding 2 questions so we can move faster. So what's that? We want to talk about the creative way to engage the kids during the holiday and how to. So you tell us what other ways parents can engage their kids in this long holiday aside throwing them into coaching school. Though I don't know if you support going to coaching school, because I personally I don't support it unless the child has deficiency. Probably the child didn't do well and is not made to repair the class. You just want the child to catch up where the child is lagging. But if the child is not lagging, he did well exceptionally in this class. No need for coaching for me. Oh. That's my opinion though. So we want to talk about the creative way to engage our kids during this holiday and how to manage our screen time and the traditional play way of engaging kids.
All right. For summer, I personally don't believe in engaging children for academics, but thank God that Nigeria now people are beginning to. Some schools, not all schools, are beginning to see things differently in the sense that aside from academics, some schools don't even do academics anymore. They just do other extracurricular activity. You see a school saying that they just want to do music for this summer. You see a school saying that they want to do, different activities, okay, which is actually laudable. Because for me, in fact, sending your children to relative house because you want to you think you'll be tired of them around, I think is actually a very wrong notion. Rather, if they are young children, all right, like between for example, in Nigeria, 3 years old child is already in school, all right, between 3 and 11 or 15 thereabouts, where you know that they can actually not do something heavy, you can actually let them engage in other extracurricular activity. What does this thing do? It actually opens up their mind to other possibilities. It builds their mind, it builds their intellect. They begin to see the world differently, and it makes what they have learned over the past 9 months, okay, let's say 1 year, over the past 1 year, to be more realistic. Because by the time they go through some of these activities and they see some of the things that they are being taught in class will make more meaning. All right, what do I understand? What am I saying by this? For example, like, my husband makes furniture. All right, there is this particular boy that is learning furniture with him for now. Okay, this boy now understands some section of mathematics because of the way they will have to measure some certain things, measure some angles, measure some things to get some certain. So he was able to. Me, I'm not a mathematics person, but he is able to understand some of the things that they are being taught in mathematics that seems like it's difficult. No, now having to learn to make furniture, measure some wood, how to cut some wood. You have to give out a measurement to cut some certain wood. He was able to understand some techniques in mathematics, and somewhat it kind of helps him because he sees things differently. When you open children up to music, when you open children up to taekwondo, ballet, and all of these things, it makes them see the world in a different light. Okay, it makes it. For now, for example, in my own school, we are doing coding, so robotics. We are doing robotics this period, and there are some few things that the children are learning that they are quite intrigued. They are like, so I can do this. So this is how light comes about. So they can use this kind of method to make light. It even opens up their creativity, and these are part of the things that we missed when we were small. Well, will I say we missed? Yes, we missed, because the only thing we do is to play around, run around, and just become something else on the road. So a lot of people don't have this in our home time, don't have this kind of opportunity. And the only opportunity you have is to go to school, to lesson, coaching school, and to learn the subject for the next session, which that is not why we need this long holiday. For older children, it is important that parents should allow them to learn how to make hair. Open them up to a lot of things. If it is possible, you can take them to your workspace. If you are the kind of person that does that does works like, let's say, tech, or you are into like like Yoruba or call it shewa, you understand? If you are the kind of person that makes air, that does something on systems, that can produce some things, artisan work, take your children to where you work. Let them see things in a new light. If possible, let them learn it and let them make a decision for themselves. Don't force them into it. If they don't want to do what you are doing, look for something else. Just encourage them to actually at least do it for some time. If this is what they don't want, you know that you look for something else for them to do. So by the time you open them to a lot of things, before you know it, they become creative in a lot of ways and they begin to find their own path by themselves. All right. So this issue of, even if a child is academically not sound, I will still not advise that the entire time the child is being opened up to books. No, I will still not advise that, in all honesty. Why? Because the brain needs to rest in order to process some of the informations that it has gotten. So when they keep writing, they are in class like 5 days in a week of 7 days. So they are constantly in class. Even the weekend, some parents will still get home lesson teacher for their children. So apparently these children, like 6-7 days, they are reading and writing. This is an opportunity for them to learn something new.
So also me this parent thing. But anyways, let's talk about the screen time and traditional time. How do we balance it? A lot of parents said no screen, and they take the screen away from these kids and they just want them to play the traditional way. And some kids, parents are like, well, it's only when they have that screen that they let me have my peace. So how do we balance the two? What's your opinion on it? Hello, Tayo.
Let him mute you.
Oh,
Tayo.
sorry. I can hear you now.
So we'll talk about the screen time and the traditional play time. So how do we balance it? Should it be all through traditional, taking the screen away from the kids because of the danger of screen to them, or having them hold the screen just to have some parent can have some peace? So how do we balance the two?
In this life, balance is important. Like for example, we had, or they will advise us, work-life balance. Yes or yes? The same way children also need study-life balance. All right. So as much as too much screen is bad for children, it also helps them in some certain things, teaches them some one or two things. A child can want to create cartoons or probably be an actor or learn something from something that they have watched and all of those things. So it is important that as a parent, once the holiday is approaching, you make a plan of what the children will be doing during the holiday. Why should you make plan? It helps you, it helps the children. All right, you are able to monitor what they are doing, and at the end of that holiday, personally, you too, you will see some changes in them. So it is important you create, like, because normally these children go to school Monday to Friday and their life is actually regimented. Take it or leave it. By 8 o'clock, you are supposed to be on the assembly. I'm taking Nigeria for example. You know me, I teach in Nigeria. By 8 o'clock, you're supposed to be on the assembly. By 9:20, 9:10, you have finished with first subject and you are going to another subject. All right. So that's, there is a time for you to eat, time for you to go outside and eat. Same way, you need to do the timetable if you can, okay, or make a plan what they will be doing on a daily basis, and that should include the screen time and also the traditional play time. And in this their traditional play time, try and join them. If it is possible for you to teach them something new, what this thing does is it helps their brain. When they play outside and play under the sun, play with some other things, play with some other people, play with nature, it really helps their brain. Okay, so it is, don't say that there's good traditional play and no screen time. No, children today they have want, they have desire. Let me put it that way. They've already thought that this holiday I'm going to watch the whole of Nickelodeon. this holiday I'm going to watch all of Spider-Man series. These holidays I'm going to watch, So you don't take all of those things for them because you are trying to build them up. It is just your duty to ensure that what they are being exposed to on the screen is not damaging them. Okay, so whatever they are going to be exposed to on the screen, be sure that it is something that is actually good for them. All right. Then also give them time to have the play, whatever that you want. Also give them, in fact, it is that time they should also learn house chores. All right. They should learn house chores like clean the house, clean your room.
Making the bed.
This period they should even make it a routine so that by the time it is just pack your toys that you can do this holiday, you will be shocked that after the holiday, when they resume back to school and they have the opportunity of playing with their toys, after playing, they will pack their toys because it's a kind of behavior you instilled in them during the holiday. The holiday is actually the time that you have to be the parent, to be the teacher of your children. Because plenty of the time, parents rely on school to do a lot of things for them. And they are first point of call as teacher. All right, parents are their children teacher. But maybe because they label this teacher, a lot of people don't want to teach. But the fact that you invest a child, or you allow a child, probably you adopt a child, or you
Okay,
get
Tayo,
your
before we go to Tayo, I'm sorry to interrupt you here. Before we go to that, let's make it practicable. Maybe because you're a teacher, during holiday, you are home with your kids too. You guys are home together. Maybe because I don't work during the day, maybe that's why I will be able to have enough time with the kids. Let's talk about parents who do 9 to 5. How would they be able to manage this and also create time for all that we are talking about? Make sure they learn this, make sure they learn this. Let's be practicable, let's bring it down. So parent that goes to work 9 to 5, Lagos traffic, you leave home probably 6 to get to work 9. How do you, and probably when you come back home 7 o'clock, you're tired. How do you balance this during holiday for the kids? I said that you should not take them to family members.
for that's true, really, you are correct. I'm talking like this because let's break it down. For people that have small children, aged between 3 and probably 6, they might not be able to do all of these things. Okay, but you can still do some. For example, when you can, before you go to work, even if the children have not taken their bath, at least pray with them. Your religion, practice it with them. That is where it starts from. Let them be able to connect to their spirituality. Okay, let them learn from you how to connect to their spirituality. Okay, that is where it starts from. Then they can then return back to bed and you can go your way. If someone is in your house, like a nanny or your mom or your family boy, all right, that is staying with you, helping you to take care of your children, because obviously you can't leave the children alone. All right, and for parents who actually are not going to be around, probably does 9 to 5 jobs, I will advise that this period they should take their children to camps, to schools where they don't do academics, basically when they don't do just academics, where they do other extracurricular activities, so that the children too can learn in your absence. All right, and it is important that you probably take a few tabs about what they do. You just ask questions so that you should be sure that your child is actually going through all of those things. Even if it is that and crafts they are doing in that school, let your child be exposed to it. All right, aside from academics, let it not be basically academics. And in the evening you might likely be tired, but that period you'll be around. If your child is between 4 that can hear simple instruction, give me spoon, this is the time for you to tell that child. After playing, probably you've gone out since morning and you come back at night, you can tell the child, pack your toys. Or you can give a specific time, at social time, pack your toys. For those ones that have older children, you can also let the children go for summer school where they don't do only academics, and tell them when you come back from school, wash your plate. At least it is just their plate. If their hand can get to the sink, like I have a child whose hand can get to the sink, who is 8 years old, and his hand can get to the sink. His hand can get to the sink since he was 6. So you can tell that kind of child, when you come back from school, wash your plate. When you say it first day, second day, third day, make sure that there is reward and punishment for whatever instruction you are given. The punishment might necessarily not be beaten, okay? It might be that you withdraw some certain things from them. So this child already knows that when I don't do this thing, this certain thing will be withdrawn. Okay, the child knows that once I come back from school, I need to wash my plates. Then when that child has gotten that part, you can move a step higher. When you come back from school, make sure you are hanging your bag. It doesn't have to be something big, it just has to be something that is consistent. Okay, if you tell the child wash your plates, it should be consistent. You should ensure that the child washes his or her plate. When you come back, the plate is washed. Okay, then if anybody is with them, you can give them some few instructions to help you follow. This way you are able to, at least to a large extent, make use of their holiday period. Do you understand what I'm saying? Have I been able to answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I like that, because we just need to put everybody also understand people's schedule too. And I know the fact that where you said that, I know you will not leave your children by yourself. So that means whoever you are leaving your children with, you can also pass that instruction to them. Like, please help them, make them do this, so that they will not be by themselves. Even if the person is your neighbor, you can pass the instructions to your neighbor. Make them wash the plates at this time. Make them do this at this time. So that's a good one. That looks like practicable, right? So thank you for that insight. So what do you think is the biggest? I think we mentioned one of them, which is the time. What do you think is the biggest challenge parents face in keeping their kids engaged during holiday?
Can you repeat that?
So what do you think are the biggest challenges parents may face during holiday to make their kids engaged? You know, a lot of them lie about, okay, not to lie, sorry about the lie. So a lot of them talk about the time, a lot of them talk about money, that they need something that if they don't take them to recreation centers, they have not really made the kids engage them, or probably make them enjoy their holiday, because recreation center sells during this holiday time. Or I don't have money to take them to movie, I don't have money to take them to see this and this, and so many things that parents wish they could do because of money. So what are other things that could be a challenge to parents at this period?
The most important one is money. Money is one of the challenge, because then cooking too is another challenge. But during holiday, they eat spending. You keep cooking, you keep spending. Normally in school, you always plan your way. You eat in the morning before you go to evening. When you get to school, you eat this, you go back to evening. But when they are home, much more than when they go. So you actually need money. The fact that they will be resumed in September, and first time is always a heavy one. So the first challenge is actually money. And the other one, it takes a whole lot to keep children down. That is the truth. Whether you have what you're going to do or not, it takes a whole lot, because they drain you. And a lot of times, fathers in Nigeria, I don't know your own, most of the time in Nigeria, fathers are not really that present like that. It's just few fathers that are coming to the realization that they need to be present with their children. So it is always a whole lot on the mom. Whether she's a working mom or she's a stay-at-home mom, is a whole lot on her. All right, it drains them physically, it drains them even emotionally, it drains them. It drains them psychologically, because it is a whole lot to take care of. And imagine a woman who is having more than 2-3 children. Before that is why you should give kudos to teachers. Even teachers go through this when they are home with their children, because there is a way they relate with children, their pupils, and there is another way they relate with their children. Their children do not see them as their teachers, they see them as their mother. So they don't relate with their mothers or their parent like they will relate with their teachers. So making them to take instruction is always a lot. It takes a lot for them to take a certain instruction, especially if you have to adopt these non-beating techniques. Even if you are going to adopt beating techniques, it will still take a lot, because it's not every day you'll be beating them like goats. All right. So it takes a lot. All right. Aside from money, it takes time. It takes your, in all honesty, it takes your peace of mind. It takes your peace of mind, because by the time you do tell them to do some certain things, for example, I told my son to slice okra for me some couple of days back, and for every 1 more minute I'm checking on him to be sure that he has not cut himself. All right. So it takes your peace of mind too. When you tell them to do some certain things for you, you want to keep up with it. You want to be sure that they are safe. As much as you want them to learn something new, you also want to keep them safe. So somehow it takes your peace of mind. Well, when you have children, you don't really have peace of mind like that, except the one that the Holy Spirit is giving us. So it takes your time, it takes your energy, and it takes your money. So it's actually, those are the challenges. All right. But well, you should find solace in the fact that September is around the corner and they will go back to school.
Bro, today, what is, as a parent, as a father? Let me put it from that father angle. So, what are those challenges you guys face while engaging kids during the holiday?
Mi ò láfikún, mi ò láyọ̀ kúrò.
Well, now, at least they
No, no,
must tell fathers
yeah,
one way or the other what they do
yeah.
to engage the kids.
I think everything that Sister Tayo said, there are challenges. The only one that I just want to add is the challenge that encapsulate all of that is excuse. As much as we want to dwell on the fact that money is there, as much as we want to dwell on the fact that every other thing is there, if it's important to us, we will make a way. The reason why we are not making a way is because we are hiding behind the excuse of every other things that we've mentioned. I said something jokingly when Sister Taya said that you lose your peace of mind. I said, no, be you one bomb picking. I mean, the thing is, parenting is not supposed to be easy, even if it is not. So here's what I mean: the peace of mind that he's talking about, you still lose it when they are in school. Immediately you give birth, you start wondering what is going on with my. There's no way, even if while you are working, you will still be thinking about, I hope nothing is happening to this kid where he is right now. So that's one excuse removed, right? Then the excuse of money. I would say that there are some activities that actually does not require money. But of course, we want to, again, I'm not saying that money is not important. It is important because there are some things that will require money. But in the place of not, I mean, while we don't have money, we can introduce some things that doesn't require money. And I think I answered it before that all of this always stems to spending time with our kids. No matter what it is the time to spend time with our kid. And if, like I said, if it is important to us, we'll spend our time. Taking a walk does not require money. Doing house chores together, keyword together, does not require money. And with the perspective of a father, right? What Sister Tayo said with respect to fathers not being around is also an excuse from the fathers as well. What are you doing? Even if you're busy from morning to night during the week, what about weekends? You want to relax weekend, I'll be okay. But relaxation is not it's not like you will sleep 24 hours Saturday and Sunday. You still have your time. And even when you go to work safe, it's not like you come back home in the night. We call it 9 to 5, right? You get back home 5. You can rest and still find time to, engage. It doesn't have to be going to be running around in the evening, right? It's just engaging them. I said something earlier that these kids are this formative years of their life. And again, I said it earlier that I'm speaking theoretically, right? But to me, the way I see it is at the core of it, it's all about doing things that interest them. And for it to interest them, it has to interest the parents. Because kids look at their parents and want to do things that they are doing. Basically, they want to be like their parents. That's why every kid will say my daddy, my mommy. Before they will say anything, it's always my daddy said, my mommy said. So because they're looking at our life. So that's one other thing. So the excuse for the parent, for the father, is really hiding behind that, oh, I go to work 9 to 5 and I'm tired. And then I want to add something in conclusion, that actually waiting for summer class to start building that culture is already late, as far as I'm concerned. Because something that you don't do with your kid while they go to school and they come back, the old say 1 year, I be 1 year, I be 9 months, I be 1 year. Something that you did not do, whether it is in small portion, the whole 9 months and 1 year, you now want to start building it for the 3 months that they're going to be at home in the summer class. So to me, to have an effective culture for that summer period, it starts with building it gradually, even during the school year. Again, everything that I'm saying is theoretic, so that you won't hear from my wife sometime in the future that so that everything that I'm saying. But of course, I know it's not like I'm saying that I won't do it. I just feel like the ideal situation is what I'm saying here.
Exactly. So, like I said before Tayo joined, taking a walk around your neighborhood with your child, probably one at a time, because when you do two, it might be too chaotic, or three. Because I do this with my children. One, I'll pick one of them, I'll go out together. So with that, we can have a one-on-one conversation. I can always pinpoint what he does not like. I'll ask him questions like, what does daddy do that you don't like? So I can help you talk to daddy. What does, yes. So you will tell me. So I'll ask what is it that I do too that you don't like, so I can look at it together, and I also explain why we do it. You know, it might not be like I can talk to daddy. It could be like so that you understand why we do it. I'll also ask about myself too. What is it that I do that you don't like? We'll talk. It's like our own date time. So there you will talk about what he needs at home that we're not doing. You know, so many, we have that conversation, like me pouring his mind with me. Or who is that bully in your class? Who is that bully in your school? Your friend that you love to be with? So we converse. The one you can do, we'll talk about it. The one we cannot do, we'll talk about it too. So it's like one-on-one. And this following day, I go with another child. So that same date, so everybody will know what they need to, we need to improve on, and also meet them at their own point of their pain. So we do that. We'll go on a walk, even if dating or eating together is not achievable. Maybe I'm broke. We'll go on a walk. We'll go on a bicycle ride while we walk on together. So all this one does not really require much money. And also at home too, we'll cook, we'll talk together. Noodles is the easiest thing to cook for my kids. Like, they know that they'll put in water, they'll put in, you know. So I've taught them how to do this, and making bed, picking their toys, putting white clothes in the laundry, taking it out, putting colored one in the laundry. So all these ones are the things we do together. So, and talking about time could be also another issue, truly. But you still have to create time. You have to create it because they are part of that things you need to do. What's the sense of you getting time outside and your kids are not turning out well? Then you wonder, like, what's your essence out there? So children are also part of our priorities that we need to also make sure that we create time for. If you're expected to do 6 hours job, if you consider your kids, you can cut it to 4. If you want to do 10 hours job, if you consider your kids, you can reduce it to 8. You know, just make sure that you include them in your plan and your thoughts. So if you can, if all of us are doing that, some of us pick job that we don't consider the kids before we pick that job. Like, why would your father has gone for a lot of time, and mother to pick another career, you want to just run with that career, and none of you consider that who is going to be home to take care of these kids. If we are not doing that, then we do not put them in our mind. That's also a bigger excuse. This time thing, not all of us should run the same scale. If the father needs to stay back, he needs to stay back. If the mother needs to stay back to raise them at this formative year, and then later on we can also continue to run our careers. I don't want to say, yeah, no, those, because you were arrested. So moving on to the next question. So now a lot of kids are bored. I've had time whereby my children, my friends here will come visiting and they'll tell you, "Auntie, we are bored. We don't know what to do." I'm like, really? It's in America. I had that for the first time. Kids telling you they are bored. Really? You can be bored. Like we were can't you be creative or think of what you can do even in the midst of nothing to do? So now, but today I know we could have had that several times where kids will tell you they are bored. I know you go to church, you meet kids, they are bored. So how do we get them or not overwhelm them and also not get them bored during holiday? But today,
Hello too. Again, theoretical, but I feel and I may be wrong. I'm not sure if I'm wrong, but typically when kids say they are bored, it's because they do not have their iPad in their hands. That's just what I see. So because of the fact that they are used to that, they are used to holding iPad at every time of their day. So when you remove that iPad from their hands, they start getting bored because that is what gives them, that is kind of like what gives them the dopamine that kind of like keeps their brain running, right? So, and I think the answer to that is everything that we've been talking about. If we remove, we just need, well, if the kid is already in that spectrum, I think the next thing would be to gradually remove their dependence on iPad. I mean, when we were growing up, we didn't have iPad. It is rare for any kid in our generation to sit down in one place and say they are bored. When there is lanka lanka outside, when there is keke, taya tamayi, and well, there's nothing like that now. I don't even think that the kids in back in Nigeria still do lanka lanka, or they want tire monsing. Ayé ti gba gbogbo yẹn lọ́wọ́ everybody ti ja, right? So I think to answer the question, the boredom that they feel is not because they want to do activities and they do not see. It's because they do not know any other activity apart from iPad that had been removed from their hand. So the answer to that would be to introduce fun activities, right? Situational activities that build leadership and character. Taking out, it might not just be walking around alone, because like I want to say that taking a walk can be tiring as well. If I'm not trying to lose weight, you understand what I'm saying. But fun activities, that's I've seen some um fun, not toys now, but projects that kids can engage in. They are science projects, but they are presented in a fun way to kind of get the kids start thinking. Of course, you mentioned painting, you mentioned some other things like Lego building and all of that. Aside that, it could be um, going outside, doing, there's this thing that you're putting hand on the mat and all of that.
So another, let me quickly say this. Another thing I do with the kids is scavenger hunting within the house.
Yes. And yeah, thank you very much. We do what is close to that when we're young, police and thief, right? We do police and thief.
No, that's hide and seek. That's hide and seek.
Hide
and seek is different from scavenger hunting. Scavenger hunting is sitting down on the spot as a parent, ask them to go and bring something. The first person to bring it is the winner.
Last junior, yeah. I think I'm in secondary school.
Muleni, go and bring color red. The first person to bring anything that is color
red. Exactly. Things like that doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be sophisticated. That's what I'm looking for. And the funny thing is, by the time they are done doing that, maybe for an hour or two, they will sleep. because things like that gets them going. It builds adrenaline, and then when you do it, you get tired. You won't even think of boredom at that point. You want to go and sleep. So it's just about creatively finding things like you said, scavenger hunt, well, we call it our police and thief, hide and seek. Those are things. But if kids do not know about that, or they are not introduced, like I said, nudged, they won't think of that as something to do. The only thing they will think about is, I don't have my iPad, I am bored. So we should just carefully and gradually nudge them away from dependence on iPad to introducing these fun games that you talked about.
Thank you. Tayo. So the question I asked before your network took you off was, how do we make sure that we don't get our kids bored at home, and also make sure that they are not also overwhelmed? Overwhelmed is we have too many activities for them. They're jumping from one to another, one from jumping to another. They get them overwhelmed. Like, can't we just breathe? So how do we manage balancing the two from not getting them too bored and also being overwhelmed? And kids here, they will express themselves when they are bored. I had that for the first time here in America when kids say they are bored. I've never had that in Nigeria before. But I don't know if Nigerian kids are also get bored too.
Nigerian kids will get bored if they don't have other children to play with, one, and if they don't have other things to do other than screen time. The truth is that, like Mr. Tunde said that because children lack iPad, so they say that they are bored. Sometimes it is that iPad that is getting them bored, because they are constantly on their iPad. There is nothing else. Human mind is not meant to stay redundant or stay on a particular thing for a very long period of time. That particular thing will bore you, except it's something that you are creating. All right, even something you are creating, you want time out of it so that you can have a refreshing. Okay, so even staying on iPad for a very long time will get the kids bored. So you need to structure things in such a way that it is not too heavy on them. Like, for example, the things that we have discussed earlier, house chores. You have time that you do your house chores. In fact, you should also have time that you are useless. Let me use it like that. You are not watching, you are not having any screen time, you are not playing with people outside, you are just not doing anything, because you need time to actually sit by yourself and think. Children too think, and one of the times that they think is when they are actually bored, when they are by themselves and bored. That is when creativity comes to life in them. So you should have time where they are not doing anything at all. All right, they don't even know what to do. If they want to play, fine. If they want to sleep, fine. And they should also have time where they sleep, so that whatever it is that they are learning can be processed. In fact, they need plenty time to sleep at this time. Maybe it is possible for them, especially the ones that are between the ages of 0 to 12, 13. If they can have 11, 12 hours of sleep this period, good for them, because their brain is still developing, so that at least their brain can also process a lot of things. All right, so, and children need themselves too. Most children that are bored are the ones that they are just the two of them. They see themselves every day, no other child to go and play with, nothing else to do. So of course they will be bored. They are human beings. You as a human being, if you are seeing your husband every day, will you not be bored? And all you people do is talk, watch TV, talk. You'll be bored. So you will need something else. So as parents, we need to be creative around these children. And their boredom is also a gift sometimes, but it should not be all the time. All right. So their boredom is actually also a gift for them to think. Children they do think. All right. So I think I've been able to answer that to the best of my knowledge.
Thank you. I think that you were also right on that border. Talking about giving each other space. My kids get tired of each other, and that's when they fight. When you see them, they are constantly fighting. It's like they are bored, they are tired of each other. So most of the time, I separate them. I learn to do that. So separate them. Like, you do your things by yourself for 1 hour. You to go and do whatever you like for yourself by yourself for 1 hour. Both of you cannot really be together every time and still not, you know, when I see them fighting, this minute, this one doing yeah for me, this one doing yeah for me. That's when I separate them. So to reduce the number of yeah that I hear any day. So, and also talking about, there are so many things parents can also do with their kids that will not really involve you a lot, but you just need to be there to make sure they're doing it. You can make them draw, they can paint, a lot of coloring arts, just buy a lot of crayons in the house, let them paint, let them draw. These ones do not really require your own time, or you need to run around with them. They just need you to nudge them to do it and watch them do it. And writing too, once in a while, if they want to write, and it could be something they already know. It doesn't have to be a new one they need to learn. The ones they know, they can still enjoy playing with one they know already without taxing their heads. I don't know if you understand. The culture you just want to train them is how to sit down and do something is aside running around. So it depends on your goal, on what you want to achieve. Some of the parents just want to make their child sit down. We just want to get the child just running around. When I do the scavenger hunt, it's just I just want my child that likes to sit down to play and run around. And also you can put things in your house, hide them somewhere, and ask them to find it, the first person to find it. So these are ways. I have a way of putting my, I have stickers or paper that I'll cut and glue in some areas of the house, and give them a paper to look for that thing that I've already eaten. So they mark it. The first person to see a cup, that particular cup, you mark it that you have seen it. And that person will look for something, they plate, you mark it. So the first person, and this does not require me to be with them or run around. So we need to also Google. Google is also our friend. There are a lot of activities that we can do with the kids that we are not thinking about unless we look for it. Create time to also make a research on how to engage your kids. Things you need to do that does not require money. Just type it on Google. Things I need to do that does not require money. It's online that you will see. And if it requires you also to take them around, there are places that we can take them to that may not require money. So so this exactly. So just make sure that you want them to sit down, get them engaged and do it. And they can, like she said, I tell my children to pick beans one after the other, and they will do it. So just make sure that they are engaged. So you're saying that you run more kids, no? I think like is to the parks that are free here. I don't know in Nigeria if there are any free parks, but free parks is just like let them go outside the gates. You know, that kind of outside the gates so that they can play with other kids. I don't know, this we did not have. And according when I was talking to Ajashek, we said talking about this is tell you how you have caged your children. In Nigeria then, nobody talks about how to engage kids because all the kids are naturally engaged. If you are not running tire, you are playing suwe. If you are not doing suwe, you are doing kenke. You know, you are just doing one thing or the other. I call on. I just want my kids to grow small. I'll start doing a call on with them during holidays. So, or you know, I call on you, just call on this, and the first person to catch the other person, you know. So many fun areas. We can also bring back those old fun and still teach our kids. We can inculcate 10 to them. All this we can still teach these kids, and they'll still have fun without breaking the bank. It's just that most parents are lazy. They can use that paper to make crafts. They can use that paper, they can build house with paper, they can make wristwatch. You remember making wristwatch with paper those days? Remember making airplane, you know, helicopter with kits, you know? We can still bring those things back. So that's all that we have for today. I don't know if you have any last thoughts. Any last thoughts?
Last thoughts, no, make you bomb up again, so that they will be playing with each other. I'm kidding. No, I don't have any other thing to say. I think we've covered most of the topic. Uh, I was deliberately saying that I'm speaking theoretically because I don't want to be an hypocrite. I know that everything that we're saying is harder than discussing it, but it's all about being deliberate and consistent about it. It's not going to be easy, but knowing fully well that the end justifies the means, it would give us the impetus to uh, keep at it, and then our kids will be better for it. I mean, a lot of learning. I've learned a lot from this as well. Some of the things that I have to uh, pick up for my own child as well. So I believe that people listening to this can listen with open mind, growth mindset, and trust. Try, and the key word here is try, right? Try as much as possible to work towards that, so that this summer holiday will be a good memory for our kids.
Okay, thank you so much. Satayo, any last word?
Well, my last word is that parents should not lose their mind this period. That is just what I just. They
Parents should
should
do
not
what?
lose their mind this period, because the truth is that it's actually a whole lot. In all honesty, like Mr. Atunde said, is a whole lot. It's not easy, but then we've had them, and it is our responsibility to do right by them. So that's my last word.
So I could read. Let me read this comment. This person says, "I commend the effort of the host and the guests on this show. You are really appreciated on this topic. Summer lessons should be scrapped because of some reasons, like holidays are for the children to rest and off of the schoolwork. It is also given to the children to revise what they have taught in school during the school session. I would suggest a handwork training for the children during the holiday." Yeah, this just capped all that we have discussed. Thank you so much, Bro Slim. I think that's all that we have for today. Thank you also for joining us. See you again. Don't forget to join us on all social media platforms. We are on YouTube, we are on Instagram, we are on TikTok, and here we are also on Facebook. Thank you so much.
Hello too.
Yeah, speaking of handiwork that Brasupa said, as kids get old, you can enroll them for intern with artisans. Yes. Yeah. Let them go and learn more. But is that not an abuse?
My sister, it's not an abuse, though.
Child labor.
It's not child labor. They are not working. So the way I see it is, sometimes just sit and learn what they and learn what they see. To even me, as you're looking at me now, if I have the opportunity, I will go and learn plumbing, because when I had plumbing work, and someone came to my house, and someone came to my house, the
I
amount
can
that he
imagine.
said,
You
the
are spending
amount that
200
he
for
said,
one thing they did in 1 hour.
ah, I sat down that day. I was like, am I in the right profession?
Want about $200 per hour.
And honestly, where the world, of course, this is digression, right? Where the world is going right now, education is great, going to school is great, but the future is what you can do with your hands. As far as I'm concerned, though. And of course, on this platform, you've been hearing me talk about how Nigerian government needs to go back to bringing back approved schools and all of
Technical
that.
school.
Technical school. With all the rave about AI and all of that, the future is what you can use your hand to do. Because, well, we don't have robotics that will do that just yet. Every other thing, even the AI is competing with people now, and
Sincerely. And
if I have the
you call artisans in your house to do something, they will do it within. And in my former house, just to light something in our gas, there was no what's it called, AC. I mean, what the heater was not working, and the person came. And it took $100. Like,
see,
ever since then,
I don't subscribe to Oyibo word of child labor. They are not doing labor there. They are just monitoring what they are. They are not lifting anything. But to be putting eye and be seeing what they are doing, it will go a long way. And of course, in the US here, we have once kids get to certain age, you put them to they go to work at Whataburger, McDonald's, and Walmart. Instead of that, it is better they learn this they go to these artisans to learn this
Yeah.
handiwork. The amount the people that comes to mow my lawn, they collect. If my 18-year-old son can be mowing my lawn and I'm giving him the money, it's better for me.
Yeah.
Or and then a while ago I saw two kids come to my door and they were like, oh,
Yes.
they are trying to they gave me a card, right? Now, do I have a card that they want to wash? That they wash the car and then I'll pay them money. And I was like, oh, that is great. You understand what I'm saying? So these are how entrepreneurial mindset is being built in those kids, right? Because of course they will make money from it, right? And a kid that knows that they can knock the door to introduce themselves and the confidence with which they introduce it. Of course, they are not going to wash my car to the standard of a car wash,
I guess you know.
right? But at least the gesture, the fact that they left their house, they could have
To make money.
Exactly. They could have sat in front of the TV or play video games. But it's okay, let's use this weekend to go out. Some people will come to say they want to mow the lawn because I have someone that mow my lawn. Again, let me stop here. I think Koja pattern. But that is, I mean, it's gonna be a good thing for kids to imbibe. As you allude to.
One thing my kids know too is like when I'm busy, whatever they ask me, they know they will get it. So they know that time to ask. Now they have come. Mommy, can we get lollipop? Can we get capsule? Can we get this? I said, go, go. Yes, yes, yes. Because I wanted this place.
There won't be scrutiny now because you want to get back to some other things.
They know I don't have time to ask why, but you just ate. You just did this. I won't have time to ask that. I said, go. Yeah.
Sharp guys. All right.
So thank you so much.
Yes, well.
Yeah. Bye. Tayo. Oh, she left already.